Ramon here.
Tawan.
Lifestyles Defined. So, Apple just unveiled the iPhone 5, and we'll take you a quick run through comparison between the iPhone 5, the Lumia 920, and
Galaxy S3. Check us out.
Alright, so the iPhone 5 is finally out.
Is it really?
The iPhone 4S XL is finally out. And not many people are jumping for joy.
No one is.
Yeah. Well, we had that conversation already. Check it out if you get some time. Maybe you'll be as angry as us. Who knows? So, the current generation of spec, we have 3 competitors.
Again, the iPhone 5, the Samsung Galaxy S3, and the Nokia Lumia 920, which is the Windows 8 operating system device.
Right. I want to focus on a consumerist level of comparison.
Okay.
So, obviously the screen would be the first, right? That's what people seem to care about these days.
At the end of the day, yeah. What does your screen look like compared to mine? So,
yeah.
I'm going to start with the Samsung Galaxy S3 screen.
Mm-hmm.
The screen is actually it's not bad. It's at 4.8, which is right now for the ideal cell phone. It's the largest screen. Mm-hmm. Again, I say ideal, not being the Samsung Galaxy Note. It's running 1280 720 by 720 Super AMOLED 306 PPI. It's a great looking screen.
Mm-hmm.
From a consumer's I'm going to say perspective, going with screen size, so on and so forth, Samsung's Galaxy at 4.8 inch 1280 by 720, pretty decent
AMOLED screen. Mm-hmm.
AMOLED, pretty decent screen. By comparison, the Lumia 900.
Right.
The 920, the 900.
Right.
What was the difference?
It wasn't anywhere close. It's not even in the ballpark with these two.
Wow.
With these 3 phones.
Wow. Okay. And the Nokia is going with what?
The Lumia is 1280 by 768. And that's an IPS display. It's not even.
Which is.
It's a different technology to Super AMOLED.
Right.
It's actually, I think that's what the iPhone 5 is using as well, as IPS.
Okay.
So it's very attractive to look at. I will say, when I saw it in person at the Lumia event, it was breathtaking to look at.
Right.
Obviously, we haven't seen the iPhone 5.
Right. Nothing in hand to really say, but by spec alone, okay, iPhone 5 they're saying is 4-inch, 1136 by 640, Intel IPS again, LCD, 326 PPI, which is actually lower than the 332 PPI and the Nokia Lumia 920.
Yeah. The Lumia takes the cake, hands down, spec-wise. But Apple's toting some sort of favorable color saturation on that, whatever that means. Pound for pound, spec for spec, the Lumia wins.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. With the Galaxy, according to, again, not having the iPhone 5 in hand, the Galaxy would spec at 3, but Apple has been used to letting us down, so God only knows what they're going to do with this on the release.
What will be next? The camera? Yeah. So what does the Galaxy have? Is it a 12?
Well, the Galaxy has an 8.
Okay.
It's an 8 megapixel. F-stop is 2.6. Well, the front facing, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but at 1.9, its only rival would be the Nokia.
Yeah, which is like 1.992. Yeah. So if you're playing the megapixel game, right? Because photographers will tell you all the time, even people that dabble in it, it doesn't
Right. That's really all a sensor.
But it does look good. I know the Galaxy looks good for a fact, and I've seen the Lumia, the front-facing camera, the Lumia. It's pretty good.
Right. So, and
the iPhone, we don't know what the hell that is in the front. I think it's like 1.2.
Right.
But traditionally speaking, even though that 1.2 would be put against the Galaxy like 1.9, the iPhone, even 4S, still probably does have the best looking front-facing camera.
Well, we have yet to. I'll probably check that out later.
No, but my point is the 4S still has the best front-facing camera.
Yeah.
So I don't see the 5 breaking that trend. But there's hope.
We hope.
And then there's the rear camera, which the Samsung I think is the one that's out of the water here.
Yeah, the Samsung doesn't really. It's not exactly delivering. And it's not giving us anything absolutely groundbreaking. I think part of the camera being so successful is the screen that comes with the Samsung.
Yeah, the pictures look good on the screen, but when you get them on the computer, it's like, okay, what the hell is this?
Right. I think that's probably one of the biggest drawbacks with the Samsung. We have yet to see what the Nokia 920 will be doing. Again, but
I've seen some images. There's some buffoonery behind that, like they lied about the image and whatnot. But they're still amazing when you see it in person. Let me tell you. And we haven't seen the iPhone yet either.
Right. So
the f-stops are interesting. Like the Nokia comes with I think it's a 2.0 f-stop,
2.0,
which is fairly impressive for a cell phone. And like I said, the Samsung's out because that's a 2.6.
Right.
So the higher the f-stop, it's not. The lower the better, pretty much. And the iPhone comes in with a 2.4. And the Nokia is the only one with actual image stabilization.
Right.
Although they did say the iPhone has some, it's probably software trickery.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's any hardware built into
the Nokia actually is hardware. Like there's springs around the lens that keeps it, because the f-stop is open long, is letting in more light, and the more light you let in, the longer the shutter's open, the more it picks up your shake. That's where the blurry images come in. So the springs sort of help that. It counteracts that. So.
Right. Whereas the iPhone 5 virtually uses somewhat of the same nomenclature as previously spoken on as the 4S.
Yeah.
So, camera-wise, again, it's looking like Nokia may win there as well. What's next on the?
I would do performance. I mean, performance is a real shoddy subject because everyone, and this is why I don't like Android, because they play this hardware spec game, dual core, quad core, 2 million cores, and it's still laggy. I'm gonna eliminate the Galaxy from this period.
What, my Galaxy?
I'm gonna eliminate the Galaxy. It's horrible on performance. I don't care how many cores it has, how much internal gigs of RAM it has. It's still a dog. It's very non-consistent. Windows 8, we haven't seen it. iOS 6, we've seen that. Still don't know what the A6 processor. Look at that. It's jittery. Turn that off, please. It's ridiculous.
Not jittery, son.
So, the performance-wise, the specs, in terms of the chips, they're all the same crap. It comes down to the OS and how optimized it is.
Right. Really, Windows Phone, and this is since it actually debuted 2 years ago now.
Right.
Has always rendered a more of a fluidity. With their devices. It was very smooth, not choppy, and you're talking using processors with half the processing speed that other companies were using.
Right.
So, it's not going to surprise me any that the Nokia would be a smooth operating,
device.
Device.
Even on the Nokia 800,
right,
or the Samsung Focus, like a 2-year-old phone.
Exactly.
You get the same experience across the board. The OS is just that optimized.
And one thing I can say about Apple and iPhone, they've always delivered. Their phones have been very smooth.
Right.
You know, when it came to
they're consistent.
You know, going from app to app, going from if you have a list of things and you're scrolling up or down on the Apple device, it was very fluid. So, and I think that's where Windows, even though some people have not actually caught on to some of those minute points, why Windows is possibly, if you know, may not be the better selling phone than an Android device, but is a better all-around phone than an Android device, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you're trying to do something very simple as in like scrolling in the screen and it's choppy, well, you know, that can be a problem for some people.
Right. And every day-to-day use sucks, whatever.
Yeah.
Next up would be NFC. Depending on who you ask, if it's a big feature or not.
I like NFC. It's the modern day Bluetooth.
I couldn't care less, to tell you the truth. But the part that's really important is the iPhone 5 does not have NFC. So if you're familiar with Apple, things have always been a big deal because the iPhone had it and no one else did.
Right.
Now we're looking at a situation where everyone else has something and the iPhone does not.
Right. So now the question, I guess, from a consumer's perspective will be, from a sheep-like consumer's perspective will be, well, the iPhone 5 doesn't need it. You know, well, right. At the end of the day, you know, who determines who needs
exactly
what, why?
Right. You know? They were sold things they didn't need in the past. Now all of a sudden they want, well, I don't need it.
Right.
Yes, you do. Stop. Cut it out. So, I mean, the comparisons between the phones, the whole DLNA stuff, it's all the same. They've all got, you know, Apple's got that AirPlay madness.
Right.
DLNA is across the board with the Nokia and the Samsung. So, spec for spec, these phones are fairly even. What's interesting is the Nokia probably comes out on top more so than not, and that's different for a Windows phone.
It really is. And you know, the bad dream for Apple at this moment is that they should know after today that the Nokia, at least after today, at most since last week's Nokia
when they announced it,
that Nokia's Lumia 920 just may be better than the iPhone 5,
which is big.
And that's, I mean, I'm going to place myself in the shoes of an Apple rep or the Apple brass. That's a bad dream for me, because now, you know, you're talking about a plethora of wrongs that will be difficult to right.
Right.
And
they've never been in that situation.
Right. It's almost like when Tyson first got knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, when he got hit by Buster Douglas, it was like,
yeah.
Uh-oh, I think I'm about to get knocked out.
Apple never had this problem before, where a consumer comes in and they say, is this the best phone on the market? Before it was always yes.
Right.
Now it's, but it's an iPhone.
Yeah, it's really just it's a scary situation for Apple reps, Apple brass to really just be in. It's a situation that just, you know, they've never been involved in. You know, they're behind, they're in front of the gun instead of behind the gun.
Right.
You know, so it wouldn't surprise me if they changed the all-around look of the iPhone.
What, a 5S?
Yeah, right. And I'd say maybe in the next 6 months. You know,
I need to do that in the next 6 weeks.
I'll say
people are not happy. Yeah. But I mean, nonetheless, out of the 3 phones, these are your heavy hitters. HTC's got like the 1X. Not special.
It's actually the closest though to damn near decent specs.
Yeah, but it's HTC, and on top of that, it's Android. I don't know.
I have a certain love for HTC, but
HTC doesn't even have love for HTCs.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but you got the Galaxy, the Lumia 920, and the iPhone 5. The Lumia takes the cake.
Yeah, I have to agree.
I think the iPhone will probably best the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Not in sales. Probably in sales, actually, yeah. It'll best the Galaxy. And it'll best them in everything.
Well, at the current moment, it probably won't best them because, first of all, they're going to have about a quarter and a half, give or take.
To catch up?
To catch up. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's enough time for a device that people already are having a problem with to catch up. So, will they compete? Yeah, but they'll be competing with the Lumia, because the Lumia won't be competing with the Samsung, because the Samsung has already come out and has been out for almost 2 months now.
Right.
So, I'm gonna go with the better again of the three, with the Nokia Lumia. I mean, that is until HTC debuts their new Windows 8 device, which may end up being something to look at, something to talk about. So,
okay,
I
mean, I guess we're not the only one, because I'm looking at the Verge's Facebook page, and they said, so are you getting the iPhone 5? And there's about 176 replies, and I've been scrolling down. I'm probably at like comment number 54 or something. I haven't seen one yes. That is different.
Yeah. It's looking bad. I'm actually looking at Engadget's Facebook, their Facebook page, and I'm gonna quote somebody by saying, hey, look, it's just as shitty as every other iPhone. Someone else says they look the same. Again, we at Lifestyles of Fun, we some might say we Apple bash. It's not really so much that, but when you're trying to bring others up to a certain light, no one is saying don't spend your money. Go ahead, spend your money on what you choose to spend it on, but spend it wisely. We all get paid whenever we get paid, and we say, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to get I need a new cell phone. I mean, the cell phones are not just something that we all want. Nowadays, cell phones are something that we all need. All right, whether you need the newest cell phone, we can dispute that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to buy something that you absolutely need, or that you need, it would be best that you get something that actually functions and is a better buy for your money than something that isn't. I mean, of course, it may go without saying, but it's just really about what is the more feasible device to have. And again, coming from a 4S and a 4, the iPhone 5 to me is not just it's not a feasible device. We ran through the comparisons, and you're not getting much from an iPhone as opposed to a Nokia Lumia or even a Galaxy S3. So, but again, the choice is yours. What can I say?
Alright, so we signing off. Check the site. We got a few editorials out. We'll continue to cover the features, so on and so forth. Peace.
Peace.
LifestylesDefined.com, representing everything you could ever love. Fashion, technology, entertainment, auto, gaming, and so much more. This is more than a blog. This is your lifestyle. LifestylesDefined.com.